great guests, very close friends, a wide variety of expertise, a wide variety of experience. I'm going to start, we're going to go clockwise. So we have Tony Walker from Columbus Fire Department, paramedic, firefighter, has a lot of experience, started off at Woodmere Fire Department, then went to East Cleveland Fire Department, and then settled finally at Columbus. And he's doing fantastically. Everybody give Tony a round of applause.
Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. My name is Tony Walker. Started at Woodmere Fire Department in 2001. Went over to Highland Hills Fire Department, North Randall Fire Department, kind of did that whole Southeast Circuit. And I was hired full-time by East Cleveland in 2006. And in 2012, I went to Columbus Division of Fire.
All right, fantastic. Then we're going to move over to our co-host. Well, it wouldn't be a co-host, a secondary host, equally yoked, Severin Henderson from Department 3C. Catch him on all the platforms at Department 3C, and he has his new book, which is fantastic. Check it out. Severin, say hi to all the good folks in the podcast.
Okay, so like you said, we're on this collaborative effort, doing everything together. I am Severin Henderson. I have my show, Department 3C Presents, a podcast, and I am a Chicago firefighter. I started off part-time at a couple of places, Village and Highland Hills, Village of Woodmere, then I got hired in the city of Chicago, which is where I am at now. Overall, I have 20-ish years of fire experience, and that is it. I'm going to pass it over. I'm done.
All right, then keep going clockwise. We have the last guest on our the Open 216, Tyree Thompson, Cleveland Fire Department and Vanguard President, also a captain on the Cleveland Fire Department. Tyree Thompson, please introduce yourself again.
I'm not the last member, am I? We have one more guy to.
No, he's saying the last person on his show.
Oh, got you.
Come on, keep up there.
Oh, I got you. I'm the oldest.
Talking to it.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest guy here, so sometimes things get past me. I started in 1996, Cleveland Fire Department. That's where I've remained for the last almost 24 years. So, like Gotti said, I'm a captain on the Cleveland Fire Department. I am the president of the Vanguard, which is a minority organization that works for equality and diversity in hiring. And that's my full-time position right now. So,
sounds good. We have our last person here.
Oh boy, I can't wait to introduce this dude.
We have our last buddy here.
This last guy here is like Will Smith's dad. He gives you a whole bunch of promises and never delivers. Never. This dude is the absolute worst human on planet Earth. But he is my dude. You know what? He's kind of like the dude off of Colors. You know, yeah, Loco, I'm keeping. Yeah, I'm keeping. So, Quentin Echols, expert fisherman, the Hobie fishing team, great firefighter, even better paramedic, good dude. Started off at Woodmere Fire Department like a lot of others, went to Canton Fire Department, and then he settled at Columbus Fire Department where he works in a portion of the recruiting department. He's doing a fantastic job, good dude, great fisherman. And everybody, welcome Quentin Echols to the show. You introduce yourself, sir.
Well, thank you for your rendition, your marvelous rendition of all of my past employment. So, my name is Quentin Echols. Everyone calls me Q. Started off working with these yahoos, met up with Tyree, but we all started off at Woodmere. I started in, I believe it was 2004. Did a small spell over at Oakwood Village. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oakwood.
Who can forget that?
Oakwood was good to me. Landed in Canton. Shout out to Canton Fire. Those boys took good care of me. And ended up at Columbus Fire, where currently I work for the cadet program. That is part of the effort to diversify the Columbus Division of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
and glad to be on the show.
Okay, well, for me, glad to have you. Can't wait till you guys get up to my neck of the woods so we can do this in our little studio. But for now, we're doing our thing here, and we're gonna get it going. So, Mr. Cole has a format for his show, so we're gonna follow his super extra uber over controlling format, and we're gonna go from there. So
It's just called being prepared. That's why you just run top 10, folks. Always being prepared.
yeah,
But anyway,
scoring the top 10 when it's only 500 guys.
hey, guess what? How about just score? How about that, buddy? How about try that?
How about they give me an opportunity?
Hey, how about that's the fight of the black man? Come on, Tyree, hit me with the I would pull up a boots.
Yeah.
Some boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, pretty much how we do this on the Open Hydrant 216, which is the best podcast. Part of 3C sucks. How we do it on the part of the Open Hydrant 216 is we try to mix it up, and we usually talk about a big issue that is usually department-wide for every department that we usually try to tackle, and then we kind of flow into something more interpersonal on how we think we can make things a little bit better, or something that's more geared towards firefighters and officers of color, including women and people in alternative lifestyles. So, this is an issue that I think we just talked about. And this is an issue that is dear and dear to my heart. New dudes. And how new dudes have evolved into worst new dudes. So I want to get a perspective from a wide variety of people because I started off very young. Captain Thompson started off fairly young. Severin started off very, very young. Tony's an old dude. And Q's a junior old dude. So, yeah, a junior old dude. It's like not quite old, but oldish. Okay. You know, like, ooh, man, how did he get here old? And then Tony was like, damn, man, ain't you about to retire?
Like Luther's curl. Don't
Quite curve. So I want to get a wide variety because my perspective with the new age, new guy, is they seem very entitled. And for me, that's an issue because you haven't been here long enough to have an opinion.
Okay.
You need to put some time in the game so that you can actually have a legitimate gripe. You just fucking got here. What are you upset about? Hey, guess what? We can get a brand new you tomorrow. You're not special, but they think that they're special. And me personally, I think it's because, especially in Cleveland, which we talked about last show, there's a stupid amount of legacies. And that falls into, I got my daddy's numbers. No, you don't. You have your number. Your daddy's number is gone when he left. You don't get to pick up where he left off. So, with that being said, I want to get a perspective of how the new guy experience is when you were a new guy and the new guy experience now that you are a senior firefighter, starting with Anthony Walker going clockwise.
All right. You were my new dude when I started part-time, or my new dude?
Just new guy. Just
Yeah,
new
new
guy.
guy.
Period. Does not matter, sir.
What's one guy? Start from the inception.
New dude at Woodmere.
Right, you're at the
I
Fresh Fest. Continue.
almost killed this dude testing hose.
Okay, we'll get to the fireman stories part. Come on.
He almost killed me. He's pointing at Severin. Even though we have it on we're recorded on YouTube as well, we don't have video yet. So
Yeah.
he's pointing at me.
Yeah. When I was new, guy by the name of Chief Albert Benjamin at Woodmere Fire Department gave me my first
Shout
job.
out, baby.
They created a culture that will never ever be duplicated. Guys that are on full time somewhere can attest to it. But when I started out new there, he put you in your place, let you know where you stood, and you had to earn your stripes. Something that doesn't exist.
But why do you say that? Why doesn't that exist?
Well, I can say for where I work at now, the Columbus Division of Fire, the way our testing process is, it's geared towards people that are older with life and job experience. Those are the people that do well on the test.
Mm-hmm.
We have, our average age is probably anywhere 33 to 36 guys that get hired are in the TA
Okay.
or the training academy. And you get that, what comes with that, guys that have, I've been around, I have some life experience, I have some job experience, and you're just not going to treat me like the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how they feel. And unfortunately, when you say something to them, they quote unquote buck back,
Mm-hmm.
and you really can't do anything to them.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do those guys that come in to the division, do you have an age, a hiring age that you guys usually look to hire people at?
So they don't have an age that they look to hire at, but we do not have an age limitation on the Columbus Division of Fire.
So no age limitation. I can be 50 and look like Tyree, which is outstanding. Tyree was great.
So in my class,
You got the little YouTube video if you go on YouTube.
when I went through the training academy, I was 38.
Okay.
There was a guy that was 45.
Okay.
And there were 2 other guys that were in their early 40s.
Okay. So you guys are, if you can do the job, you can hang out with us.
Yes. Well, if you can pass the test.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you can do the job.
If you can pass the test.
What test is that, sir?
The entrance exam.
Okay. So what about in the academy? There are tests inside the academy?
If you can pass the entrance exam, make it to the training academy, you'll make it to the street.
Okay. Anything else about the new guys that you have to say? Okay. Tyree, let's get to you.
I think my experience might be somewhat the same, but a little bit different, I would think, because when I came on, it was still guys on the job. I worked with a lieutenant when I first got on the job. He had got hired before I was born. So, you're dealing with people that were in Vietnam, things like that. So the way they dealt with you was kind of like a military mindset.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have time to ask you, baby you. You don't have time to ask questions. You need to get this shit done, and you need to shut your ass up and sit back and just do what I tell you. And that's kind of how they treated you. I respected that and I appreciated it, but what it didn't foster was any type of critical thinking where you were on your own.
Okay.
Where you developed a lot of your own thought process and added something to the team. I've taught at a few of our training academies. I've tried to change that mindset, but I'll be honest, as I've gotten older, as the classes have gotten younger, it's harder for me to, I guess, align myself with some of the thought processes. Because like you say, a lot of people feel entitled, I think, right now. And they think that they got here, so they earned that respect and that time and things like that. So when I would train people, we would be on the training ground and I'm like, listen, when we out here, just shut up. Don't ask me no questions. And I would have to get like that because I'm telling you, I'm like, man, just shut up. I don't want to hear nothing. When we out here with these ladders up, we're doing evolutions. I don't need to hear nothing. I just need you to get it done. When we inside, you can ask me what you want, but it's dangerous out here. And you asking me questions, somebody could get hurt.
So what you're saying is the cliche, be seen and not heard.
Yes, on the fire ground, yes. That's how I feel about it.
Gotcha.
If I'm directing you, you should just listen to what I'm saying. So I guess I got more of a respect for the guys that came before me. I was like, man, why do you treat me like this? And then when I became one of those guys, guess what? I understood why they were telling me what they were telling me, and I learned a lot from them. But it didn't foster, I think, a lot of my input and me adding something new to the team. So I tried to change that where it was like, well, I'll listen to what you got to say. And I may input that and I may, use that as part of what we do down the road. But if I don't use it, like I said, I'm driving the bus. So wherever we head is where I'm driving. So you just sit back in the back and you ride.
Okay. Sit back in the back and you ride.
So that's kind of how I took it.
So you get the entitlement, same thing like Gotti said with his opening. You feel like
new guys come on, they already feel like they got here and the battle is pretty much won. There's
Right.
nothing else to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of new guys and people kind of feel like that. They feel like that, and I think what Tony says is definitely something that is valid. Once you pass that test and you get in the fire academy, you almost have to slap the mayor to get kicked out of it.
Okay.
I mean, I've trained guys where I'm like, this guy should not be on the job.
Mhm.
He's not competent.
Mhm.
And because sometimes they belong to certain individuals on the department, or they have a certain last name, or maybe a certain hue to their skin, they get the benefit of the doubt. Whereas some people don't get that benefit of the doubt. But even then, they don't get rid of people that maybe not competent to do the job. So when you let a person like that continue through the academy and get hired and get on the street, you got 30, 35 years of bad service coming your way.
Okay. Now, real quick, before we pass to the next person, the question I want to ask you, you said they have a certain hue to their skin. That I've heard that go both ways. Like, hey, y'all ain't nothing because y'all brown. Like, even when we come through the door and they see us, they say we not nothing. So just, can you elaborate on that part a little bit for me?
I think sometimes when, and you got to understand, I'm coming from a point of being in a minority organization where we're dealing with these issues of diversity and things like that. So sometimes when you are a legacy and you may be of a lighter shade of skin color than myself, that you get the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes when you are darker skinned, you don't get that benefit of the doubt. And I understand that people feel like that it may go both ways, but we haven't hired anybody from affirmative action in quite a long time on the Cleveland Fire Department. So when they think that you got here because you're black, a lot of times black people, in my opinion, have to overcome a whole hell of a lot more than a lot of people. You have to be twice as good to be treated half as well as the next person. That's just my opinion and what I've dealt with.
Okay. Q, let's talk to you. Same issue. What do you see and how do you feel about new guys?
New guys, I think that
There you go. Talk straight into there from me.
the culture that we came in under with Woodmere, I believe that it did a good job at showing us what a new guy is to be. We often laugh about it because we call it the dojo, where we learn how to operate as firemen under AB and Cartwright. Shout out to Cartwright. We've learned what the culture was to be a new guy, and we also operated from different departments. So we had Cleveland guys and East Cleveland guys, and different departments were coming in. So we were given a glimpse as to what it was to be new and how to appropriately act. And I think that seeing the new guys now, let's face it, we all got some time in the game now, so we're encountering millennials. And I never thought I would sound like the old dudes, where we're talking about where there's a generational gap where you have kids that have had helicopter parents that were always hands-on and making sure they didn't hurt themselves and making sure that they were always okay and wanted to know their opinion. I can honestly say that I'm sure everybody at this table, your mama didn't, when she told you to do something, didn't really care about your opinion.
Yeah, no doubt.
All day.
So now we have the timeout generation, the generation where we want to talk about things and have this type of interaction where, let's face it, you are a subordinate and should act as follows, especially when you're new. And it seems that when brought into this organization, the culture, and I want to say something, I don't know if it's taught like we were taught. Like, I just don't know if that's something that is given good direction. You might get a class or an old guy might pull you aside and say, make sure you person the suds. But I think the combination of a younger generation in combination with not actually being taught by the older generation creates this we'll call it a situation.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because in my household, this was far from a democracy. It was a dictatorship. You will comply or the beatings will continue. It's just that simple. And I think that the problem with the new guy now is there's so much cloak of protection, is that they feel that, oh, well, if he speak to me in a way that I don't feel is appropriate, I'm gonna go to the union, or I'm gonna call my uncle, or I'm gonna write to whomever. It doesn't matter. And what it is it starts putting out an inferior product, because now I can't train you because you feel like you already know what to do, and you don't. You have no clue what you're doing, and that's dangerous. Because the problem is you aren't being brought up in the proper way to learn how to do this job efficiently, but you're taking all the shortcuts that one of your whomever it may be has shown you in some whatever form that they may have shown you, which may be very old, outdated, and antiquated, if that makes any sense. You know, you can't fight fires like they did back in '85. That's a fact. Things have changed. The whole department has changed. The culture has changed. Materials changed. And I think that's the problem. And when you try to revert to an old school way of training, it really doesn't tasking and a lot of why this, why that. Well, my buddy works down the street and they do it this way, so I think we should do it this way too. That's not what I told you, and that's not what we're doing. But I can see from Cleveland to Columbus to Chicago, it's kind of the same meat, just sliced thin. So it's kind of the same thing, but just in different forms and variations. And I'm not quite sure what the answer is, because as we all know, this is a young man's game. And the departments keep getting younger and younger, and those millennials keep on coming. I think we're kind of a analog player in a digital world at this point. And
Let me jump in because I didn't get a chance to give my answer, and I also want to be a little bit play a devil's advocate role real quick. One question for all you guys: you're saying they're not doing things how we think they should do. Like, what's a specific example of something where young people are like, hey, do this, and they just not getting it, not doing it, something like that? What's something specific?
Oh, I got one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Housework.
Okay.
I ain't cleaning up after no grown man. What you mean?
So in the morning, they're not cleaning up?
No.
Okay.
Got a guy in my station, he will go hide in his room. You will literally have to go knock on his door.
Hold on, he has a room?
Yeah. So I'm at a newer station.
I love this.
I'm at a newer station in Columbus. I'm assigned to Engine 18 on Tuesday. And there's a guy that we have to go knock on his door.
That's crazy.
Or you have to go find him. He'll be sitting at the computer in the EMS room doing continuing education work when it's housework time.
Okay.
Like, hey man, I get it, you're older. You feel as though you don't have to clean, but you second from the bottom on the seniority list.
So this is one of those older
station,
guys you was talking about.
At this station on this ship. So guess what you're gonna do?
You're gonna
clean these toilets. Yeah. It's just the way it is. But a lot of these cats come in and they feel as though they don't have to do that. That's beneath them. I have enough life and work experience that I don't have to do that.
You read my mind. I was thinking the same thing. Because you have seniority in life does not mean you have seniority here. You are new, and you will be addressed, and you will act in a manner which is consistent with your numbers. If your shit looks like a zip code, I don't want to hear shit from you. Period. If your shit look like a social security number, you need to act like it's a fucking social security number and shut your face and do your job. Or we can make this day very, very colorful for you quickly.
Okay. Well, like I said, I didn't really jump into mine. I was just at the Fire Academy for about a year and a half, and actually this is what helped inspire me to write the book, Hey New Guy. Because to me, I feel like people always say, well, nobody told me, nobody showed me, nobody said anything to me. Now you have, at least from my perspective, you can say, yes, I did. I did tell you what to do. I did say here how to do this, how to do that, and everything else. Also, when I was down there, I taught in an instructor class, and we were teaching to different generations of people. So you had to learn how to teach to millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen XZ, the generation under that, all these the baby boomer generation, the greatest generation. You have to learn how to talk to all these different type of people. And you just have to learn how to pitch to all these different type of people. That's one of the biggest things I try and hit home in the book is just emotional intelligence and knowing how to work and deal with people. Because you may have had your dad around, your uncles around, your dad's friends, your uncle's friends, just older guys, but you don't know how to talk and deal with these people on a professional level sometimes. And that's, like I said, that's what kind of helped inspire me to put out that book. And sometimes young people, they do have great ideas, and I hate that saying that 150 years of progress and repeat about today. Why like this? That's not an answer to me. that's not an answer to me. Like even growing up, one thing I always made sure I said, when I have kids, I ain't never gonna tell them because I said so. Now I have gone back on that, and I have said I said so. I have gone back on that, but for the most part, I try and give them a reason why we're doing something this way. And what I feel like is a lot of times senior guys and old guys just don't want to be bothered with stepping up on their own to teach these new guys stuff. So I feel like it's kind of a two-way street. We sit around and say, oh, these new guys ain't shit. But then we have to put the time and effort into them to make them something.
But you know what else I think is the problem too is because with a lot of the guys in the drop, a lot of turnover at the top with a lot of the senior guys, some houses you may have a senior dude with like 7 years on.
So do me a favor, please. Because Worldwide Podcast, this for everybody. Can you explain to us what the drop is?
A drop program is like a secondary retirement program. It's like a retirement program after you retire. So it's kind of for lack of a better word, it's like a slush fund. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna retire, and then the money that I would have put into my retirement goes to the slush fund that yields a certain amount of return, and depends on your rank and your best 5 years of income, or 3, depending on when you got on the fire department, will yield X amount of funds for you, or maybe your ex-wife, which is gonna get half. So that's the drop program in a nutshell. So
now, what age do you get to go into it?
I think Tyree would be better suited for this because he's a little closer to the end in the beginning.
Okay, Tyree,
life.
Hit us with it.
Well, I'm grandfathered in, so
It's your best 3.
yeah. So you can draw down a retirement at 48. So I'm assuming that I've been grandfathered into, and like I said, Tony follows this stuff too, but I'm assuming that at, the 48 or whatever, I can go ahead and start drawing down that money. I think now it's 15.
So in the state of Ohio, if you were hired prior to June of 2013, it was 25 years of service, minimum age of 48, and you could retire. After June of 13, it changed to 25 years of service and 52 years of age.
That's what it is. I was gonna say 51, but it's 52.
I think I want to interject, Sebi. What I believe is that to be a good leader, you have to learn how to be a good follower.
Facts.
And it's the kind of situation where you are right. The leader does need to teach the subordinate how to be a follower, but I feel like it's just difficult. We hit upon it earlier. We don't really care about your opinion. So therefore, you said, I don't want to tell someone, well, that's just how we do it. Sometimes that's just the answer. That is, we're doing it this way.
That's what I said. Here. My kids, I hated that, but I understand. I've had to say that. So yes.
Ooh, let me interject a story.
Oh, Tony, before I lose my thought, I don't want to cut you off. I wanted to say something. I also remember Cartwright saying something that I never forgot. He said, there's a pecking order. There's an order And even though I got almost 14 years and 10 in Columbus, when somebody comes to the room that's got a higher number than myself, or let me say it, that's got more senior, I respect them as such. I address them as such. Or if their rank follows, and that's because I learned how to be a good follower. I recently, a friend of mine who became a lieutenant, and we worked together. And he asked me my opinion on something. I said, I don't have an opinion. You make this call, and I'm gonna follow. He said, no, Q, you my boy. I want to know what you think. And it's hard for me to get out of that mode to say, well, here's my opinion, because you now have the stripes, and I'm going to do what my leader or my lieutenant or my captain or my chief tell me to do. And I just think that is a lost art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed. What you was gonna say?
Just going with the shut up and do it, and this is how we've always done it. This is a story that goes back to the first time I ever met Q.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stop. It's not story time.
It fits, but I'll digress.
Okay, you hold on to that. We got to stick with program. But this is a joint venture. Proceed.
Finish your story.
In Woodmere, we had an engine that carried 1,000 feet of hose.
Mm-hmm.
And there used to be this drill that our illustrious chief, Albert Benjamin, used to run, where we would dump all 1,000 feet down the street and pack it up back up. Just because that's what we did. And Q came by one day looking for a job, and he had on his button-down shirt, his nice slacks, and slippery bottoms.
No doubt. Church shoes.
And hair.
Yes, and hair. And we hit that street and tied off to that hydrant, and down the street the truck went. Q was like, "What we doing?" He's like, "It's a little hose drill." He's like, "Really?" "Yep." "Hey man, Q, hop up there." He got up in the hose bed, started loading hose. After about 300 feet, he was like, "Hey man,
Break.
I need a break." "No, sir.
Sit your ass down.
Why y'all do
Get your
this?
ass back to work.
Why y'all do this?" "It's just how it's done."
He said he tired, boss.
Yeah, it's just how it's done.
Tony
We've
was not
always
that
done.
nice. He was like, get your ass back to work.
Hey, get that picker swinging.
That was because how should I say? That was because we were abused kids.
Yes.
Abused kids. So I was just the newest abused kid. Like they had already knew what the drill was.
Right. It's just like cracking that whip.
Yeah.
So like, ooh, new meat, fresh meat.
It ain't me no more.
Right. He started cracking that whip. So that's cool. One more devil's advocate part that I gotta play in this part. So we telling these new dudes, shut up, don't say nothing. We are at a fire and the building is about to collapse. New dude says, "Hey, I think that's not looking good." You say, "Hey, shut up. Building collapse, fall, kill everybody." How we feeling then? So when are these new dudes allowed to say, "Hey, this might not be the best time or the best anything"?
Well, let me just chime in real quick. I think the mark of a good leader or a strong leader is being able to understand that you don't know everything.
Yes.
You cannot see
Facts.
everything.
Absolutely.
And sometimes
Facts.
you might need to step back a little bit and get a little input for somebody that may not be of equal yoke, but can see something at that vantage point that you can't see that could assist you in managing this situation better. And sometimes you do have some leaders that have the tunnel vision. I know one right now that has tunnel vision, but a leader that has tunnel vision that can only see what's in front of them and misses the grand scope of things in its totality. And that's very dangerous and very foolish. So I don't think that a new guy should be nullified in being able to speak or give input in situations that are deemed necessary, because sometimes it might be helpful, but I don't want to hear from you every single time there's a decision to be made. That's not going to happen. It's not going to work. And we're not going to entertain that kind of protocol whatsoever. So, what your question posed, I think that if that happened and you didn't take the input from the new guy as, hey, I'm a firm believer in this. As the leader of the team, if you succeed, it's because you have been successful.
Yep.
If we fail, it's because I have failed you. You gotta wear a jacket both ways, whether you win or whether you lose.
Yep.
So that's the price of doing business. Tony, go ahead.
You always have to pause and take in other opinions in the name of safety. Because you can't, like you said, with blinders on and tunnel vision, you only seeing one thing. If this guy's behind you or to the side of you and can see something that you don't see, then as a leader, absolutely, he's telling you something about safety. So you have to include that in your decision making now that you're abreast of the situation.
So let's talk to the new guys in particular. How do they, I'll answer my own question. I'll ask it, then I'll answer it. How do they say something to someone and they just keep getting the brush off? For me, in my opinion, the way you say something goes back to that emotional intelligence, knowing how to speak, knowing how to conduct yourself, knowing how to talk to people that don't look like you all the time. Come to the person and say, hey, real issue, I think this issue here needs to be addressed. Now, like Guy said, you can't just say everything that comes up, or like when it's 3 o'clock in the morning, don't none of us feel like picking nobody up. You can't be like, hey, I'm out, man. I think this lady gonna break her back or anything like that. And then on top of that, I got a story for that I'll say for the end. But it's not even my story. It's something that happened to somebody else. What happened to the officer. But the thing about it is, it's a way to talk to everyone. From if you are the bottom of the barrel, if you're at the chief at the top, you're not just going to come in and start talking crazy.
No.
You're at the bottom of the barrel, you're not just going to come in and start talking crazy. So learn how to use effective communication skills if you're a new person and you see something that needs to be addressed.
And I mean, and for me, you know who you could talk to in the fire station. You know who you could talk to. You know who's an idiot, who's going to sit there and berate everything that you tell them, who's not going to listen to you, even if you had the best idea in the world, because it wasn't their idea. So you need to know who you can go talk to. And like you say, if you are an officer and you are in charge, or a senior man or senior woman or whatever, that person should be able to go to that person and speak to them. And I'm one of those people that I'm not going to embarrass you in front of everybody. I'm not going to berate you. I'm not going to bring out your faults or fears or whatever in front of everybody. So I'm okay with, hey, we need to speak one-on-one, because sometimes when you go one-on-one with people, you get a better response from them and you get better results. So that's how I've always handled my situation.
But I wanna jump on it. We always said that to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. Well, to piggyback on that, a good leader is going to ask at some point, what does everyone think?
Your opinion.
A leader's gonna say in times where it is not extremely
Dangerous.
dangerous. Exactly. We go back to life safety, incident stabilization, property conservation. If outside of those things where it's on the fire ground and it's game time, a good leader's gonna ask, while we are solving a problem as a team, hey, how do you suppose we help this patient? She might be big and need assistance and need to get out of the home. Or how do you suppose we're going to get this hose from A to B because we got a situation that's delayed us? So we'll find, I believe that your leader at some point is going to say, let's put our heads together on this and come up with a solid plan. And he's going to then evaluate at that point what it is that plan is, if it's going to be effective or not. So,
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go a little bit of a different direction in this, and this is my belief. At any enterprise, there's levels to this game.
know that.
If I'm Pablo Escobar, I don't want to hear about any dimes and nicks on the corner. That's why I have a senior man.
Mhm.
If you have an inquiry You funnel that through him because that's my
Or
right
her.
hand man, or her, or
Whoever.
whatever. You funnel that through them. And then if there's something they can't handle, then they funnel it up to me.
Mhm.
But I have put you in a position as my senior man to take care of this frivolous bullshit that should not even reach my office. Handle it. Your senior man should bring you up to speed on my expectations as their officer. He knows what I like. He knows what I don't like. He knows what makes me smile. He knows what makes me frown. So with that being said, if you have any inquiries or, man, what do you think I should do? Go talk to him. You shouldn't be filling my desk with a bunch of foolishness and ridiculous inquiries that this could be settled from talking to your senior man who's been around the block long enough to know how this goes.
But remember, you just said, Gotti, you can go to some stations and the senior man has 7 years on him.
True.
But here's the thing. If you want to get that senior man room and you want to wear the jacket and get that day off and so on and so forth and drive every day, you're going to have to take some of the ownership that comes along with that. That's how it goes. That's like being an officer. Yeah, you want the extra pay, but you have to take the responsibility that comes with it. That's just the game. If not, maybe you need to go back to being a senior man or maybe just be a junior man and ride that out so you don't have to worry about it. That's my particular thing.
In Chicago, we have what's called the barn boss. And when people come up, like in the academy, one of the instructors gives a class that goes through new guy stuff all day. And he said, what's the barn boss? So you say, what's the barn boss? So guys usually say the senior guy. And true, that's most of the time the case, but that is not always the case. It's not always the senior guy. It's the guy who has those natural leadership abilities, that guy who can get everybody on the same page. Honestly, I remember one time I went to a house. There was an older guy there, and I said, okay, see you later. He said, well, unless it's next shift, probably not, because he knew he was getting out of there. He was the senior guy. He was getting ready to retire, but he wasn't interested in doing anything. He wasn't interested in training. He wasn't interested in writing. He was just there for the day at his house. So to speak to that, being that senior guy, sometimes, like you were saying, you have to wear the jacket. You have to have that responsibility. You have to want to be that person. You have to learn to be that person. To be the guy that kind of lead other people and tell them what to do.
With me, when I was in the academy, we did the same thing that Seth said. I would take these, cadets into a room, and for a few hours, we typed up something of some do's and don'ts.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell them, hey, you need to learn how to cook at least something. I don't care if it's lunch or dinner. You need at least one go-to recipe.
There are recipes in
the book.
Shameless plug.
Yes.
That's what I say. I wrote that book for
Listen,
Can't nobody say nobody told me.
that was an alley-oop.
Thank
you. Yeah,
I appreciate
there
it.
you go. But I would tell them what to do, things that people didn't tell me when I came on the job and things like that. So I would take them in the room and I would let them ask me questions. And it was like I had no rank, but I was just a person there to answer your questions to make you feel comfortable. Now, what they did with that when they left, some people took that to heed, but some people were just, and this is what we call them shitbirds. They don't do nothing. They just sit there on the fence and they just poop all day. It's what they do.
And you know what? That's in the book too. I wish I'd used that.
But I mean, that's just how I always deal with it.
It's a story time yet.
No, it's not a story time.
Now, Severin, I'm going to turn this back on.
Okay.
As an instructor, which you are, correct?
Yes.
Can we say you can be held liable for turning out an inferior product because you are at the incipient stage of them? I'm not done. That you're at the incipient stage of their development. It's kind of like they say if the baby can't read because they ain't got no books, that's mama's job. If baby can't read because the lights is off, that's daddy's job. Which job is yours?
All of it. I take responsibility for everything. I'm real big into extreme ownership. So if they come out stinking, it's because of us.
There you go.
But there is a small baby caveat that goes to that. And Tony was kind of speaking to it when he said, if you pass the test, you win. And Tyree, I think you said you got to pretty much slap the mayor before you get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, on the Chicago Fire Department, you can kill somebody, you can beat somebody up, you can, I'm not telling you to do this stuff. Because we always got
It's
to
just
do what you can afford saying. But what I am saying is sometimes our hands are held on getting rid of certain people. I mean, no matter, you can do it the right way, you can write to death, you can write correctly, you can have every person sign it. Sometimes these people hang around, sometimes these people don't. And that is some of that's not disgust, but the disappointment in the job is when you see something like that and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, those same people, those same individuals that stink and aren't the best, we still try our best to instill a sense of pride, duty, and honor in them. Because for me, like I said, ownership, at the end of the day, they're not going to leave that building and be able to say, Severin Henderson didn't tell them what's up.
Well, let me turn this back to Captain Cody.
Okay.
All right. When you first got promoted to lieutenant, they put you at the FTA, correct?
Correct.
Were you happy with that?
Negative.
Did you take it seriously?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just wondering because, like I said, if you're going to be down there, we have to take ownership of it.
100%.
And I know you were down there helping them, but you can't always, I was done like this, so I'm going to do this to you.
My take is this: I was begrudging of the situation because I felt that I was wrongly just by being put there, but I couldn't be begrudging towards the job, towards the candidates, because my job, even though I'm not here in the best circumstances, I am here to make you the best that you can be within the given circumstances. So I was not the very beloved instructor because I am not here to be your friend. I'm not here to be your buddy. I'm here to be your instructor, and I'm here to bring you up to speed on what we expect of Cleveland Division of Fire. Period. And if not, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
And we all know that
that is correct.
But did you take a little bit of that frustration out on the cadets?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, then.
That's what we,
There you go. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, of course, I came in and kicked it off every time I came home. Yes. Hey, take this with you. So, what I'm going to do now is we're going to switch paces a little bit and get to something a little bit easier to deal with. And I like to talk about equipment because equipment can be a very vast difference depending on where you are.
You mean if you're rich in Columbus?
That's correct.
Okay.
It depends on, some places in Northeast Ohio are getting by with duct tape and jumper cables. And some people are
95 million?
Yeah. And some guys are living down the hall. So I'm going to turn it over to Tony Walker, who has a vast amount of experience from being went from
sugar to shit. Oh no.
Yeah. Shit to sugar.
Shit to sugar.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wouldn't go
Wrong way.
He went to the deluxe apartment in
To the sky.
Call me Tony Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tony, you went from East Cleveland
43.5.
to Columbus. So
A whole lot more.
my question is this: is it the equipment or is it the individual that we present?
It's the individual that we.
Absolutely.
It's I realized when I left East Cleveland and showed up at the Columbus Division of Fire how good I had it, because I knew how good I didn't have it.
I'm gonna switch it up for you. So now, if you look at it from some people's perspective, they say the right tool for the right job, right? You look, you can do a lot of things with a hammer, but sometimes a wrench makes it a little bit easier. So my question is this: would you prefer to have the right tool for the right job, or just have the right person?
I need the right tool for the right job.
Sever.
Let me get this one. So from also being a East Clevelander, I have to shout out East Cleveland. That hands down, those are the best set of firefighters that I've ever had the opportunity to work with in those situations.
No doubt.
I couldn't have chose a better group of people to work with. Everybody on that department at the time, and we didn't even have people that were allowed to duck. We were so extremely busy. And then me and Tony, we worked there together. Just firefighting wise, they got a lot done with a little. And what's that saying? God saves babies and
Babies and fools.
Everything fool.
Hey, he got me and you a couple times.
And we must just been the whole station of babies and fools. Because to this day, no one has got seriously injured at that department. And the stuff we were working with was a
Shout
bomb.
out to Doug Theobald.
Yeah,
The
they
coldest dude
under a
Richard
rig
Van.
ever. Yeah. And so
and Steve Thomas. Him and Steve Thomas.
Thomas, yeah,
Kept
got
the
it
trucks
together.
on the road.
So, like, to speak to Tony's thing, he works with a different group of people, a different set of guys now. And some people in this job and in this profession, they there to get a check. That's it. They say, hey, I'm pimping the city. I'm sitting back. They take pride in doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. I despise those people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I try and be nice and be cool.
No,
but when
no,
somebody brags to me about
No.
how little they do,
No.
I am out
Yeah.
on that.
Super out.
But in bigger departments, you have those places.
Where they can go hide.
Right. In East Cleveland, we did not have that opportunity. We were fighting fires all the time.
From
every
the squad.
day. We would get rigs there, jump off our rig, put that rig in service, and go in and get to work. It was a different place. And I wish it was a way I could mix like some of the stuff they had. I wish it was a way I could take every dude from there and just put them somewhere else if that's what they wanted to do with their time. Obviously I can't, but that was a great experience. And then the last thing I'm gonna say on it, because I also went to police academy and I went to Cleveland Heights Police Academy. And they, nice department and everything, and they have a city big enough to support a police academy. Cool. East Cleveland literally has a busy enough fire department to support its own fire academy. That's what I pitched that to the mayor one time. Somebody can have that for free if you want to bring it back up. But if I said, hey, if you want to make some money, they got a police academy. You should have a fire and EMS academy with all the traumas, all the fires, everything that went on there.
Money to be down
People used to come ride for free.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Just to hang out, and we had to be here at work. And he's like, no, I'm just here to smile. And
Yeah.
So
when I started in East Cleveland, they didn't have turnout gear for me. I bought my first set of turnout gear there so I could get on the truck and get to work.
Well, they need to, in Cleveland, they need to merge EMS and fire, and they need to merge East Cleveland and Cleveland. I've been saying that for years.
Bruh, I remember when I was on the executive board for Local 500 in East Cleveland. Shout out to Local 500. We started that process of just having discussions. And I'm going to tell you what Local 93 told us. Y'all too damn busy. Too many EMS runs
No comment.
and too many fire runs.
Okay, hold on. Getting low off topic. Quentin Nichols, I'll let you chime in. Because you didn't get raised into the ghetto, so you came from America. Wait. Let the record show.
where'd you live
Let
at?
the record show. My mama's still staying in East Cleveland. Now, it's a nice part of the show.
Is
But
it?
nicer being subjective
Got it.
motherfucking East Cleveland. So,
Not cool.
Shout out to Holmes in my first in.
and I was invited to come work in the establishment, as you will, under false pretenses. Tony knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Shout out to Curtis Jackson.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, the old 50 Cent. So, was that the old chief?
Yes.
Yes, for a moment.
Oh, I remember that dude very well.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
you
I
do.
do.
Yes.
I have,
I do remember that
You
situation.
know what? I'm gonna
Digress?
stand down for safety because I have something I really like to say.
Save it for story time.
Tell me the question again. Do you think, in your opinion, is it the equipment or the person that wields it?
I work with, as all of us have, coming from Canton, I've worked with really, really good dudes. We all have. We work with some people where we use little to accomplish a lot. And being that's where I would say partly where I was raised at. Smaller department, has to rely on mutual aid, has to rely on is a township or someone nearby coming to help you out. So to answer your question, I believe it is the person, because with these smaller departments, with these not Columbus is what it is. Capital City got a lot of money, got a lot of capital to operate within. So Columbus, I shall say Woodmere and Oakwood, smaller departments, you gotta be sharp, and you got and hopefully around sharp people. So I believe it's actually a person. Yes, you want would you say a wrench to do the job, the right tool to do the job? Yeah, that helps, but we've been putting out fires with buckets of water for a long time. Facts. So.
Okay. Now that we got that out the way.
Can I throw in one more thing? Sorry. No, I know. Last word here. I just wanted to say, it's different from here than it is in Chicago. Chicago, we had a city, we got suburbs and everything, but most of the stuff happens in the city. Here, there's a big suburb system, and I've watched suburbs put out fires. They have the nicest rigs. You take it to the scene, you push a button, it goes up, it spins around, it does tricks, it backs itself into parking spaces, it does all kind of stuff.
And your house is a basement.
Yeah, your house is a basement. They get a regular fire, and you can kiss your stuff goodbye. So these people live in these exactly. They live in these nice, beautiful communities.
And your premium everything.
Yeah.
But if you want your stuff to get saved, sorry, that's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna hurt.
Now we making jokes. We're talking in jest and making jokes, but at the same time, if your loved one is in there and your kid can't get out, we know where they hide because we've all been in fires. We know they hide in the weirdest places, under the sink, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the bathtub, under the bed, everywhere. These people they're not even making a first knock to get in to do anything. Mm-hmm. So all the people, to me, is what makes everything work, what makes everything go.
Yeah.
That's why I had to have a huge shout out to East Cleveland. And then in Chicago, we have places that busy, go. We have other places, not that much. They train, they do their thing. But these guys who live in these neighborhoods, they will tell you flat out, they say, I'll do a better job going and leading out myself on that apparatus before the people in that neighborhood. So it's exposure. You gotta get your reps up. And if you're not getting your reps up, get some training.
But doesn't that allude to it? You nailed something. It's the city departments. It's always said you're gonna have a heart attack. You want to have that inside the city. you want to have a fire. I bet you want to have it in East Cleveland where your house will get put out. Yeah. Inside off of 55th where ladder 10 gonna show up and get it done. So I assume oftentimes I'm not knocking the suburb, but as our one dude said,
he's an overpaid janitor.
He said I'm an overpaid janitor. This is exactly what I'm about to say. So
shout out to the overpaid janitor.
But everybody can talk shit about the overpaid janitor, but them dudes retire heavy.
No doubt. They were healthy.
They retire healthy.
Yeah.
Them dudes get every ounce out of that damn pension. Every red cent. So let's change gears up here.
Well, I must be stupid because I want to do stuff for people why I can. Not when
Yeah,
I'm
you're
retired.
stupid. It is time for, this is where I'm going to add it. It is time for best self. Oh,
What's the best self?
Oh, well, pass those over, Mr. Tyree.
Okay, okay.
This is from the good folks at Icebreaker Deep Talk. Best self 150 prompts. Developing strong friendships or relationships requires vulnerability, but sometimes it's hard to know how to share deep parts of ourselves. It's so easy to develop surface level relationships with surface level conversation, but those kinds of relationships can feel somewhat empty. The Icebreaker
Come on,
Deeper Talk is a
We'd
tool
love to
for
get some money for
diving
this.
deep into meaningful conversations. Use this regularly to explore the deep parts of yourself and others. The good folks at Icebreaker, 150 prompts. So, how this works is since we have a panel of 5 fantastic individuals, I'm going to have to pick at least 3 cards, and everyone will give a response. So, we're going to crack this open. I'm going to put in a little side note. These are Severin Henderson's cards, and I asked him to give me one of them because he has like a volume of 6 and he refused.
Yes.
So I plan on stealing them before he departs tomorrow.
No.
And by the time he finds out, he'll be halfway to Detroit. So here we go, folks. We have a plethora of colors. We have orange, we have blue, we have, oh wow, we have sand.
So these are the new cards. These just came out.
Okay.
We have the original Icebreaker deck. This is the Icebreaker Plus a deck.
Icebreaker Plus. So Icebreaker, good folks, Icebreaker.
No, good folks at Best Self.
Oh, my fault. Good folks at Best Self who have the fantastic product Icebreaker Deeper Talk. Send the Open Hydra 216 a whole case of their shits. I need this. So I'm gonna go clockwise. I'm gonna go with the second oldest young junior dude, which will be Anthony Walker. Sir, please stick them paws on in there and grab one of them cards, put the mic up to your mouth, and go ahead and spit it out. What color you going with, sir? You gotta read it and respond, and we'll go in a clockwise fashion and we'll read and respond. All right, he's going with lavender.
Yeah, let's see, lavender. All right. Under the category of self-awareness, where in your life do you feel misunderstood?
There you go.
Oh boy.
That is a heck of a question. Where in your life do you feel misunderstood?
Answer the question, man. I know where you're misunderstood. I can go and help you with this one if you like.
Go ahead.
Where you're misunderstood, you are the most non-listening Negro on the planet.
Yes.
I swear, you be like, Tony, the grass is green. No, it ain't green.
It's brown because it ain't been no
Hey,
green.
I went to the union meeting yesterday, and they say grass is turning cheese, so I'm hustling crackers. No, Tony. Sidebar. I told Tony, go to paramedic school 20 fucking years ago. Tony's like, no, not to somebody paid for it. What are you, a prostitute? This is not how this works. But he did get his paramedic. It only took him 15 fucking years.
I'm a well-paid prostitute now.
Yes.
So that's where Tony's misunderstood. He doesn't fucking listen ever in life. Severin, go ahead.
I can be stubborn.
No. So I can't wait till we get to these worst self cards because we're getting to them too. I'm telling you flat out. We're getting to these worst self
You ain't
cards.
tell me what I'm doing. This is my show.
No, this is our show.
Negative.
You can leave. Then we'll just talk about you.
Hey, you know what? It's all right home from here, Jack. Your ass gonna be getting put out.
I still got friends in the city. We're all answering where you feel most understood.
Like you.
Okay, I'll keep it fire related. I say I hate patients. I don't really hate them. They just bother me so much because they don't take care of themselves. And I just wish they would take care of
patience.
And I wish they would take care of themselves.
Job security, Severin. Job security.
I don't look at it like that. We'd be job secure doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
Look, Martin Luther said.
That's where I'm misunderstood.
Martin Luther said.
I got that.
Okay.
Let's see, where do I feel misunderstood?
I can take this one too.
No, you're gonna take it. I know my own. Yeah, you know, I think I get misunderstood. Just I get called angry a lot. I do. I get called angry a lot, but it's passion. It's
Yes.
it's passionate about stuff. Yeah,
Your social media clearly says you're angry about.
you know what? Sometimes you gotta poke
go
that
too
beehive,
far, yes.
man. I like to go too far.
Hey,
That's what I do.
that's what OJ said.
That's it. Pull the Bronco up,
It's
please.
Passionately about
Yeah.
all right, Quentin Eccles.
Q.
Oh man.
Give him the card. I want you to read it. You know you're one of those deep intellects.
Where in your life do you feel
Get closer to
where in your life do you feel misunderstood?
Oh, I got this one for you.
Please.
All right, let me set this up. And I'm gonna let Tony. I'm gonna tag him in. But here's something that I struggle with. Y'all know that coming to Cleveland has been difficult for me. So it may be perceived because I haven't come to Gotti's house in 3 years.
What?
It may be perceived that I am not a good friend, but I am beyond thinking about all of my friends, but I struggle with the demons that live in the land. So where I may be misunderstood is in my visits to my soil. So
Hold on. I'm gonna stop you there.
go ahead.
How many times have you been up here to fish?
I mean, I'm here once, honestly.
All right.
Ain't no demons on the lake, baby.
Yeah, but that's a blow through the city. But I want to tag Tony.
I got
on
something
this.
to blow.
This feels like Festivus, the airing of the grievances.
Yeah. Where's the pole at?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Tony, go ahead.
What
tagging him in.
he's most misunderstood is with time. Q thinks if he just shows up, it's okay, even though he was given a time.
I was punctual today.
Ish.
No, I was here at 7:45. You said 8-ish.
No, you said 8.
I was bringing a text message. I said, "What time do you want me
Receipts.
here?" You said 8-ish. That's what you said.
And then I came back and said, you can come as early as you like. It's at your what?
Discretion.
Correct.
But Negro, you said 8-ish. And I came here at 7:45. That's called on time.
I don't know. Hey, a broke watch is broke twice a day.
Out of the 5 of us, Q is late 98.9%.
I always say, if it's business, I'll be on time. For social events,
Which we're social, he's always
I was on
late.
time for Sevy's wedding. I was there. I was
I wasn't.
right.
He was on time except when it came to blessing.
Okay. Where in your life do you feel misunderstood? I feel in my life I misunderstood and I always want to be in control.
Hold on, that's not misunderstood.
Yeah, I misunderstood his passion.
No, we understand. You want to be in control for no reason.
His passion.
Yeah, right.
3
Yeah,
words,
passion.
all family reunion.
Yeah.
That is not called passion.
It is called- Why are you gonna tell me what I call it? I call it passion. Tyree's not angry. He's just passionate. You are. He looks pretty fucking angry to me. I eat tailgate. I eat most away trips. He's just passionate, which equals a fucking fight.
Those are called passion.
Yeah, I'm passionate too. I'm just passionate about being in charge.
Thank you for proving our point.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the next card. You said we're doing 3, right?
No, you don't get to pick.
Why don't I?
Q gets to pick because you're not the new guy.
Okay.
That's because I'm in charge.
Clearly.
Thanks a lot.
That's
All
very
right,
passionate.
don't pick that color.
Don't
Pick
pick
another color.
I'm gonna go with is that blue?
No, don't pick blue.
Just pick it
What's
up
that?
and you can
Pick
see.
anything.
Pick what I tell you.
See, it's in charge.
All right, no, pick anything. Anything.
It's because he outranks him.
Yeah.
There we go. Always got a little bit of length to it. That's what she said.
Boy, never heard that in life.
Hey, side note. Hey, remember when we was at that one hotel? I had the towel on.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. I don't know anything. But since we're talking about it, this dude is gross. This is a gross dude. This dude nares his whole body. He was smooth like a house cat. Hey man, that was the most disturbing. Man, you guys ever see the butt naked gargoyle? It's so foul. I was like, man, this is gross. It was like a California raisin, just really tall. Sexy. Man, I threw up in my mouth. All right, let me read this card. All right. What's something you're sure you'd never do, but secretly wish you had the guts to? Here it again. What's something you're sure you'd never do, but secretly wish you had the guts to? This is where you answer it.
Oh. He's like,
I'm gonna slide this back in the day.
All right, no, come on, man.
mine is very trivial. Honestly, mine is. I don't have one. I gave you
like double dutch or something.
I gave you the deep answer. I already gave you the deep one. So this is gonna be a little more lighthearted. Honestly, I would love to jump out of an airplane.
You stole mine.
I would love to jump out of an airplane.
They do it in Columbus.
But I kind of always think, and this kind of suck in me. I'm like, man, what happened? A slingshot and they just pass out and they go.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not want to just pass out, just shit on myself. So I secretly would love to jump out of an airplane. I just don't want to be foolish and pass out and be. And since your first one's got to be strapped to some dude, I don't want to pass out strapped to a dude. Right. So I kind of want to jump out of airplanes, but I don't want to be with a dude to pass out, possibly shit on myself.
They know that too. They make jokes. They got 4 points of contact. They say, hey, if you want, I give you the 5th point. Because I have done it.
And he got the 5th point.
I was always the 5th point.
Hey, Sam got that 3/4 of a chug.
As long as it makes me land safe.
Oh, it landed safe, all right.
That's mine. Yeah.
Okay, what's something you should you never do but secretly wish you had the guts? I wish I would secretly want to be an entertainer. I like to be a comedian.
No.
If I had the guts.
That's pretty good.
But that sounds like a pretty hard hustle, and I got child support and bills. That being said, I'm gonna keep my black ass right where I belong. So that's, and you know what else I wanted to be? The 5th member of Josie. I want to be that other dude. So yeah, I want to be the other dude. You see this motherfucker with Jodeci boots? I want some leather slacks. I want some super Tims. I want the little curl on the top and the socks hat. I wanted all that shit. Socks hat. All them shits. Just ain't gonna come to this. So, yeah, for one time. So with that being said, that's what I wish I could do and had the guts to, but I'm going to stand pat and stand down for safety. Mr. Walker, here you are, sir. Read it, folks in back.
What's something you're sure you'd never do, but secretly wish you had the guts? I hate to double up, but
I know
this
I
was
wish you
red.
do sometimes. Shut the fuck up.
Don't ask any questions. How about that?
Go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
Damn, this moderator is the worst. They said, we just put this on your. You took mine, and I'm gonna stand on it. Jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. It is what it is.
Looks like both of you guys want that 5th wheel, huh? All right.
What is something that you sure you never do, but secretly wish you had the guts to do? Well, it's past me now, age-wise, and it's something I kind of wish I would have did. I wish I'd have joined the military.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting.
Just so I could go do that with my life. So that's
I agree with you, Seb. I wish I did the same.
Both y'all got bad.
I got a mic.
Go ahead.
Oh, something I hate to fly. I am terrified of flying.
Yes, he does.
I'm better at it, but every time we try to go somewhere, I hate going somewhere that's a long flight. I hate it. I'm very,
Never do that.
Oh,
Nah,
that
I hate
dude
it.
is
I hate it.
petrified.
I have to sit by the window. I don't like sitting on the
Yeah.
aisle. Yeah, I hate it. I get very
That dude
nervous.
shake like drugstore lights.
Yeah, I take it off the land and I hate it. And I hate flying to Chicago, I'll be honest with you, in the wintertime, because it's always bumpy, shaking. So I wish I had the guts to learn how to fly a plane, but unless I got to get in one, I'm like John Madden. I wish I could just be in a bus driven everywhere around me because I hate to fly.
Okay, fellas, we're gonna hit one more of these, then we're gonna go to worst self, and then it is time.
It's story time.
Finally time for luxurious fireman's Oh boy. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. So I'm gonna dig into this magical deck. This is where I'm gonna cue the drum roll, which I can't do. And I'm going to pull one of these fancy, how's yellow sound?
Yeah.
All right, let's go yellow. All right, here we go. One yellow card. Describe, oh boy. Describe a time when you needed extreme courage to keep going because others gave up. Man. All right. So, last year I was in Jamaica with my daughter. It's a place called Rick's Cafe. I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. Heights isn't something that I really look forward to. I will do it if I have to, but if I could avoid it, I would. So Rick's Cafe has this really tall cliff. There's 3 levels of it. It's like you're brave, you're really brave, and you are a psychopath. So my daughter's like, hey dad, you want to jump off this cliff? The enemy is like, fuck no. But the dad part of me was like, man, I guess we want to do these shits. So I go up there and I see a couple people jump off. I'm like, man, this ain't the play. So I kind of peek over my shoulder. If she's still there, I'll do it. If she's gone, I'm out. So I look over, she had this big brown eyes. Like, yeah, you might do this shit. So I wrap my toes around the edge and I'm looking down. These shits is tall. This is some straight bullshit. So I look back again. She's like, yeah, dad, jump. Damn. I think you know I got a policy. So I jump off. Bow! And you know, whenever you do something like that, the first step is the hardest because the rest of you follows. It's kind of, hey, once you take the first step, it's a wrap. So I jump off, bam, everything works out. I turn around with the GoPro, and Kai is literally already coming down. Zero hesitation, zero waiting, like no 1, 2, 3 go set up. She was just like, okay, I'm ready, jump off. I felt like a straight bitch. And I was just like, but that was when I wanted to give up. And others was like, the rest of my family was like, fuck no, we're not doing this. And I was like, just Kyle was like, you can do this shit. So I did them shits and it got done, but it was not like something I would do.
To do again.
I would do it again.
Do you know why the rest of your family said no? We're not doing
Because
that.
they have good sense.
No, because you were in control and you went there on your own without the rest of us.
Oh.
Because I gladly would have jumped off for you just to show you. I would have jumped off twice actually.
Oh, was that something?
Yes, just to
Sounds like something
to
you
show
do.
you.
All right.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna ask you.
All right. Tony here. Describe a time when you needed extreme courage to keep going because others gave up. This had to be November 2001. Out at Tri-Cities Fire Academy in Parma, Ohio. There was a confidence drill on the ladder, on a ground ladder. They took a 50-foot banger ladder and put it straight up in the air. And you had to go up one side, down, hop over it, and down the other. What? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your boy don't like heights either. When it comes to that. A banger ladder is just a ladder and 2 poles.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I'm
Yes. What? Yeah, 2 staples. That's it.
no
Up
belt.
and down. No.
Shake like drugstore guys.
Hey. I went up the base, got to the fly, halfway up the fly, and I was like, I don't don't know how I did it, but I just chalked it up, kept going, inching my way over, came down, and there was multiple people in my academy class that they just said no from the ground. They didn't even
Nah,
try.
I'm good.
Yeah, but that was my instance.
Be brave. Kept going when others couldn't. Don't have too many of these because I usually psych myself up. Confined space class. I don't like when I can't just stand up when I want to. Like just having to lay down and you just gotta lay there till it's time to come out of the hole. I didn't really appreciate that, like that too much. So none of you mind. That's easy breezy.
So I got a microphone. Let's see. I don't know if anybody gave up, but when I took over for the Vanguards, I was asked by the previous president to run and take over the organization. And it wasn't that I wanted to give up, but I was hesitant to put myself in that position. And it was almost like nobody else wanted to do it. But I'm like, you know what? I got the wherewithal to do it. I got the passion. Anger.
Just anger.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the times I was real hesitant. I didn't know if I wanted to do it, but nobody else was stepping forward. So I felt like it was incumbent upon me to do that and to make sure that somebody gave, or that I gave behind me something that I got when I came on the job, which is somebody that looked out for me and took care of me. So I think that's the most recent thing for me. Q.
All right. So I was a Cub Scout.
Cub Scout.
I was a Cub Scout at one point in time.
Not even a wee below.
And I wasn't good. I was terrible. Didn't last long. This little dude from the side of the tracks where there was no Cub Scout, even no team. I had to go join another squad. So, short story. We happened to be on out in the States, and I would say I put this at 11, 12 in that ballpark, 10, 11, 12. Short story. We are going down some mountain, and we're doing what kids do. We're sliding on the leaves. And this is a rather tall, this is a hill, mountainside, whatever. And we get all the way to the bottom. And we hear a faint voice that says, "Help." Sean Thompson. Sean Thompson decided, instead of skating down on the wet leaves like we was, we just, kids will make fun out of nothing. So we skating down some leaves and going down the hill. Sean decided that he was going to take the expeditious route of going across the cliff. Ooh. When I said cliff, imagine a rocky sliding kind of scenario where my man is trying to traverse above while we are below. So I decided, like, my Superman kicks in. And I race up the hill. And I'm like,
is traverse like a triple word score? That's a big word like refrigerator.
Yes. But I remember I was like, "Come on, guys," and nobody was with me. Nobody was with me except bad hair Amir Richardson. The reason why I call him bad hair.
Amir Richardson's gonna kill you.
Oh man, Amir tried to give himself a fade with some scissors one time. That does not work out well. He tried to, it was bad. So bad hair Amir showed up.
God gave you a fade.
There's three of us with things.
Right. So in the end, I made it up to the hill, me and Amir, and my man is on the slippery gravel. Imagine kind of he's laying belly down, and he is like, "Bro, this slippery scale is on its way. Like, this my demise is en route." So me and Amir do the old, I take off my shirt like I am Superman. Take off my shirt. Amir holds onto a tree stump. So he's holding on to a tree, holding on to my shirt, and we successfully saved my man, Sean Thompson. Sean is alive. Sean, he know you're alive to this day. So that's me and my skill of taking off my shirt and traversing.
Little bitty numbers.
No doubt.
Okay, great. Great answers, great responses. Well, Severin Henderson, take it from here.
Okay, so now we ran those cards. This is probably gonna be a 2-part episode, just flat out. We are going to pick a bunch of cards. I'm gonna be the moderator. I'm going to read the card, then we're going to decide amongst ourselves who is the person most likely to do what's on the card. The first person to collect 8 cards, that's what the rules say, is the winner or loser.
Go ahead and give me 4 now.
Nope.
Wait a minute. The name of this is Worst Self?
Worst Self.
Yeah, and my nickname is Tony Doe.
Tony Doe!
Just give me all 8. Real quick.
Okay. So I'm just picking them out from here. You make up metaphors that make no sense. Who makes up metaphors that makes 0 sense?
Why you looking at me? I ain't.
Why are you looking at me?
What's a metaphor?
Okay. What's a metaphor?
What?
We'll
I'm
skip
kidding.
that.
This can't remedial.
All right. When someone asks you if you know Spanish, you say un poquito. That would be Tony Don't for me.
Yeah.
Tony know everything about everything. So
That'd be Tyree.
Tyree
will make some.
Hey, he
Fake
used to
Spanish.
live in Ohio City, so.
fake Spanish.
I'll get the last one.
I know some
Okay,
Spanish too.
Tyree did. All right.
Tyree thinks he's the most cultured, uncultured.
You take credit for other people's work.
Oh yeah, I'm a habitual.
Oh man!
Why you gonna throw it at me?
You take people credit for other people's work.
Whose work have I taken credit for?
Man,
Hey, I'm a
you
habitual
don't have
credit
no
for.
work. Okay. Yeah, he is a mean.
He's like, I did it.
I own that one. I'm proud of that.
All right. You asked to use your friend's Facebook to check on someone who has blocked you.
Ooh, that's creepy as hell.
Yeah, that's
creepy.
No.
I ain't no
Nah,
shit
man,
here.
I don't think that's.
Yeah, I ain't no shit
here.
That's
that
hell.
going
I don't think that's.
Somebody might do that to one of us.
You accidentally like someone's old picture or post.
I'll
That's
probably
me.
do some. You?
That's me.
Yeah, because you're not too.
Oh yeah, you don't be on there much.
No. Yeah, I'll be just strolling and these big ass hands and hits. And I'm like,
Yeah, he don't be on there much.
Whoopsie.
He be like, happy birthday. He be like, 6 months ago.
right. 2019.
You wear an uncomfortably deep V-neck shirt.
Tyree.
Certain
Tyree,
sleeves, top
yeah,
sleeves.
that's
I'll take
Tyree.
that. Wait a minute. And Negro with the V-neck on.
Uncomfortably deep.
It's
I think
uncomfortably
uncomfortably
deep.
deep.
It's like showing off his taco.
Yeah.
Q, that was almost you.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Not no more.
Oh, here we go. This is easy. You say you're on your way
Oh.
when you haven't even left the house yet.
Damn. Get over.
Q,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
Q, what you got? You got 2?
I got
Yeah,
2.
he got the
Okay. All right.
Oh no, you're not picking all these goddamn cards. Hand them over.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, if you read the directions, the moderator picks the cards. You'll be okay.
I don't know if you read them directions.
You invite friends to see a new movie. Then you go see it before them and cancel your plans. Yeah, that's
That's not applicable.
yeah, nobody's
Like,
like
why do you do that?
That's some chick.
Oh, you one up on every story with a similar yet better story of your own.
Mm.
Tony?
Now, who have I won up?
Is a topper. Tony be like,
Hey, I
he be
need.
like, I wrote a unicorn.
Tony,
He
you
like,
got to
I
eat that one.
I'll take it.
You got to eat that one, baby.
I'll take it. But I want a specific instance.
He'd be like, I went bald. Tony be like, I'm bald over.
You text while you're driving, but you openly judge other people to do the same.
Tyree.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Tyree might be the worst.
This motherfucker.
Yeah.
You always place the toilet paper on the roll the wrong way.
I do that.
Ooh, no, I hate
I do that.
that.
I do that all the time.
You were over.
You do that too?
Yes. Yeah.
Huh?
You were over.
Me?
They get mad
Oh,
at me.
man, I'm over, baby.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, under, man. You got to put that under.
Under.
No.
No,
Pull it.
come on, player.
Hold on, hold it.
No, no.
Over. Hey, if you're on
Oh,
YouTube,
man.
make sure you put the comments. It's over.
I used to do that at the
It's
station.
over.
No, it's not. It's under.
It's
If
over.
you got the
The
mullet,
patent, the patent says it's over.
What?
the damn
Yes.
picture is over. On all of them,
Yes,
you look at any
exactly.
damn-
Toilet paper is over.
Yes,
You leave the toilet seat up everywhere you go.
me.
Sometimes you don't even use the toilet.
Yep.
You're like, I'm gonna make somebody piss off.
You just do that on purpose? Oh man, I am the habitual toilet seat leaver upper.
Okay, now this one is like two of y'all. You show up 30 minutes late for happy hour.
You.
But once you get there, you demand 2-for-1 special anyway.
That's it.
Oh, no.
That's
I'm
both of y'all.
punctual. No. I'm punctual.
The orange part says you demand that 2-for-1.
But I get to place stuff on time. I'm very. I don't come to places late.
It's a half.
Who y'all say? Because we get the vote.
I'm the man for 2-for-1. So
So you just put it in between them. We
Yeah.
can share.
Y'all get a half.
They can share that.
Oh, how about this? That's a tiebreaker.
That's okay. I'm with that. You like to avoid conflict so that problems fester into something more of a challenge.
Say
That's me. You're like, yeah, that's me.
I'll take that.
100%.
You like to sabotage your relationships before they even get started. Then
Tony.
they complain about not having something.
Tony.
That's all.
You sleep as little as you can and remind your friends about it if they complain about being tired. I think that's got it because he be staying up to all kind of weird hours at night. He's like, I'm allowed to be tired.
Ain't nobody tell you to stay up till 5.
Hey, if there's one of them says a dude that takes a nap like a toddler,
That's
it.
it. Yes.
He was sleeping, I can't.
Yeah,
Everybody sleep.
Yes. That's it. You push people out of the way to get a better spot at
I buy expensive seats anyway.
You eat half your meal, then you send it back and say it wasn't cooked right.
Oh, I'd never do that. That's some cheap shit.
No.
Ain't no chicken George did.
You text your ex, how are you? But then you never respond because you're better than that.
That's some chick stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that.
Okay. All right, these are getting weird. Oh. You would get blackout drunk at a friend's wedding and make the best speech you will ever regret. Yeah, that's me. I take that.
The squad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
I don't like this moderator.
What you want me to do?
Okay, these your dumbass cars.
Exactly. Thank you for bombing on the people. Now I ain't gonna send us nothing.
I'm an icebreaker. You want this first self.
I'm on the law. All right, last one.
Well, we're not gonna get the game done then.
Yeah, it's gonna be over.
Well, don't keep going.
Tyree winning. Because we still got story time.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna split it into 2 episodes then. We still got 30 minutes. Where we at? Jesus Christ.
Bunch of black ones. You somehow bring all conversations back to yourself.
Well, I guess it's. It's all
Okay, you took that one. Tyree still won. I think he got
4.
You got 4?
With that,
We got 4.5. Before the 4.5. Let's
4.5.
keep going.
Okay.
We need a definitive one.
Okay. We gonna get a winner. All right.
This game is biased. Where's my card? You want to give me a fucking card? Give me the card.
Sorry, excuse me.
There you
sir.
go.
There you go. You never clean your leftovers out of the kitchen at work or any kitchen. Nah, y'all are pretty clean. Yeah. You make it your job to spoil every TV show and movie you can on social media.
No, I ain't done that. Might
When
be
someone
funny.
asks a question, you start with, again, like I said, if you were repeating yourself. Like you just keep on saying that.
I'm always right.
You order 4 more drinks than anybody at the table, and then you insist that the bill be split evenly.
I ain't never done that.
We don't do that. We just pay.
Yeah, you just hey,
Throw the cards out, let
just call it in and we'll order some pizza and just.
You get a free cup of water, then you go get popped in the machine with no shame.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with
You take up 2 car parking spaces.
Oh, no, that's an asshole.
You humble brag like a champ. Does anybody need to know what humble bragging is?
What's humble brag?
Humble bragging is when you attempt to mask your bragging with a faux humble guise.
No, I just brag outright.
Yeah.
Nah, you've been talking about your cousin's crib for a minute.
What that got to do with me? That's my cousin's house.
Okay, that's a humble brag.
Yeah.
Negative.
No positive. You stand in the middle of the escalator so nobody can get by.
Mhm.
In conversation, you try to be thinking about what you're going to say next rather than actually listening.
Me, give me that.
Okay, back in the game, baby. Back in the game, baby.
Bring him back.
You flaunt your knowledge openly to anyone who will listen. You use jargon and big words and obscure references as much as possible. Traverse. Yes. You get that. Traverse.
Want your knowledge.
Now we finally got 4.5 tweaks to 2 of us.
Yeah.
But Twinks, spell it.
Tweaks. It's B Twix.
Oh, let's talk about this. You listen to music on your headphones loud enough for other people to hear and recognize the song.
Me.
And the winner.
When texting, you always reply to everyone just because. Like reply all in group text. All y'all do that. We got that group text and we be talking to each other.
He was like, please take me out of this.
He jump out the text. This should be something for
Yeah,
that.
he'd be like, take me.
Hey, all right. It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of going in and deleting themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause y'all be talking about, yeah, you like cucumbers pickle. I'm like, man, y'all get up.
You host a house party, then you stay in your room the whole time. No, that ain't no
We ain't doing that.
You wink as you tell the cashier you get a special discount.
Tony.
Hey, that's Hank Martin.
But he's not here. But right now.
Hey,
Hey,
Tony
Tony
myself. Tony like you normal civil servant.
Never,
Tell me, I don't know
ever.
about that one.
I have never asked
I
for
don't
this.
think Tony deserved
You sit with your legs so wide on the subway, you take up 3 chairs.
I don't ride the subway.
Tyree's the tallest one out of this.
Yeah. No, he is.
Totally.
Is there one in there about tapered slacks?
You tell,
Jeggings.
you tell the cashier, so you mean that it's free, right? When the item doesn't scan properly.
I've done that.
Okay. How many you got?
5.
5, you win.
Yeah, I'll be like,
Yay, Tyree's a loser.
I'm like,
All right.
skin at me.
Okay, now it's story time.
Oh boy, folks, this is what you all been waiting for. This is why I'm gonna go ahead and put in that drum roll. It's gonna be long. This is Fireman Story. There's 5 participants, 5 stories. Some stories may include some of the multiple participants, some may not. So we're gonna go in we're gonna go from new to old. So we're gonna have the new guys started off, and then we're gonna tail off with the 2 moderators bringing up the rear. So Tony Walker gives a good old fashioned fire story.
Good old fashioned fireman story. Is there a rating system to the?
You can do
Just
Whatever you want.
whatever you want. Open hydrant.
One of the craziest runs I ever went on before.
All right, make sure it's not a HIPAA violation, please.
It's not a HIPAA violation. But went on a run for a dude with abdominal pain. That's how it came through. And got there, and his old lady was very excited. I told him, it's dirty, and I'm just gonna tell it the way it is. I told him I was gonna fuck the shit out of him. She snapped his dick, and it looked like the letter L.
Oh, wow.
Hell
Switch
no.
over.
Fractured penis.
Oh,
Side note, I had just had continuing education at Euclid Hospital by a urologist that showed us that.
Oh, God.
Hey, I told him I was gonna fuck the shit out of him. I told him. So I didn't want to see it. I was like, hey man, I believe you. Let's go.
Yeah, that's wrong.
He pulls the sheet back and was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I said, sir, I'm just gonna take you to the
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah. The doctor
Hey,
don't know.
and side note for any of the gentlemen listening out there, and happens to you, you need emergency surgery. As soon as we wheeled him in, they took him up to surgery so he can get his joint fixed.
Oof.
Broken.
Hey,
That's a
yeah, I'm good on that one.
Snap.
Yeah, I'm good.
To the marriage capital.
Yeah.
All right, Quint Nichols, give us a good old fashioned fire.
All right, here we go. So, Gotti remembers this well. This is about Skillet.
and this one went great with the new guy.
Yes.
Oh,
Skillet. Wow. Flash from the past.
So I'll be brief.
No. Drag this one.
We are doing our regular. It is Woodmere, circa 2000 and what would you say, maybe 6, 7 in that ballpark. And we got a new guy, tall brother, dark skin, affectionately known as Skillet. Skillet was a new dude, new to the fire service, and this goes back to the new guys. That new guy talk we had earlier, where Skillet did not know he was the guy that was had seniority in life, but did not have seniority in the fire department, and he was unaware. You know how they say unwilling, unable, and unaware. He fell into the severe unaware. So we shooting our regular. Sal will remember we playing some Madden. We shooting a regular Woodmere 1-2 step. Get some pizza from Jets, getting us playing some Madden, watching the
Wire.
Wire. we got the round table under the Vizio TV. That's probably still there to this day. And Gotti had called me up, and this is back when we didn't have a smartphone, so I'm sure I was rocking the Sprint Motorola or something or other, Razor or whatever.
Razor Edge.
He had told me that he was working on something. He was coming through, so that's customary. Where man, we're gonna get some pizza come through. This is our normal. So since this is our normal, it was nothing to the guy to call us up and say, hey, put me in. I think you were painting that day.
I was painting that day.
So Skillet is unaware of how we operate and unaware. I don't think he had met you at this point in time.
He has not. But he did.
So
Boy, did he.
we got some wings in this. So these wings was tasty. I remember just the succulent. The barbecue sauce was still glistening. Steam coming off of them. We didn't divvy them up. Everyone's got their wings on their plate. Guy that comes in loud, doing his regular, hey, what's up, man? High five, chest bump, we all having a good time. And he reaches over my right shoulder and grabs a wing out of the white styrofoam container. At which time, this is normal. This is what we do. At which time, when he grabs this wing, he begins to start breaking it down. He breaks it apart. Go get him a little piece of chicken. Go ahead and get it keto. It's going down. And Skillet says these infamous words. I know your mama taught you better than that. To wash your hands first. And it was at that time I knew he fucked up. It was inside of my soul. I remember coming and I remember saying, no. And then it came out where I looked at it with the widest of eyes. And I said, you shouldn't. You may not know what this is. That's when Gotti went ahead and said, it's officially game time. First, he addressed it as such. Who is this motherfucker? Which I said, Skillet. Old Skillet. And that's when Gotti said, well, since this motherfucker don't know me, I'm about to show him who I am. And I'm about to show him how my mama reads. I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away at this point. I'm going to tag team you in. I know it's my story, but I want you to jump on this.
So, mind you, everybody, podcast land, I had a full day of shit to do. But I was going down on the fam to see what's cracking. And they had the bird. was like, oh, you got some chicken? Bet, my dude. I'm coming through. Bet, cool. Slide through, grab the chicken, skillet came back, instant disrespect. And I was like, hey, I hit him with the stupid. What did you say? My man reiterated, your mama. She wash her hands. I said, well, I'm done painting today. I was like, it's go time. I finished eating my succulent piece of chicken. I had to politely excuse myself to the locker room and suited up.
Yes.
It's go time. Hey, everybody, we about to drill. We just ate. I know. We're about to drill. And we're going to drill really fucking hard for a long fucking time. I said, we're going to drill until skillet frozen. So it's either we can expedite this process, so I punch him in the stomach, and throw up, or where this is going to last. I was like, I got all day. So I get the ladder evolutions, full turnout. This dude wore that ladder like a necklace. Go right down on the shoulders. Don't help me. This dude's like, but it hurts. I was like, it's supposed to. Right. It's supposed to.
Yeah.
And so Q was just like, man, this is not how I want to spend my Saturday afternoon. So now I was gonna play some Madden, play some chicken, maybe take a nap or two, and then do something else fantastic.
Skillet fucked it up.
Skillet. And everybody, that was the end of Skillet.
Yeah. Skillet said, deuces, I'm out.
One hitter quit.
Grand opening. Grand closing. That was it. That was it. And Skillet, wherever you may be in this world, fuck you. Hey, your mama. So,
So that's my skill.
And the fire service is better without you. So now we got that out of the way.
Crazy.
Tyree Thompson. It's what a good old fashioned fire story.
Well, mine won't be probably as funny. I could come with a funny one, but this one I always remember. And I've told this before. I even tell it to our cadets. We got a call early morning after we was on shift. You weren't working that day, but we were at Station 10. We got a call for somebody electrocuted.
Ooh, I heard this one. This
So
was bad.
we're thinking, man, somebody over there working, they done put something in one of them sockets, and you know they ain't nobody is electrocuted. Man, we come down a Delbert Road, which we were down many a day at Station 10. We see people in the middle of the street, construction workers, like waving their arms, screaming, whatever, pointing into this back parking lot. We turn the corner and they start pointing above them. Some construction worker who was in a cherry picker got too close to the high tension wire up there. You know, if you get within 10 feet, it's gonna arc. It arced and fried him up there in the top of the bucket. He was still alive. They're standing on top of a parking garage with a dry chemical extinguisher that's just blowing sideways. He's rolling back and forth in his bucket. The bucket is on fire. Yeah. They're pointing up there, screaming at us to go up there and get him down. I'm like, either we're going to go up here and get this dude down, or we're going to be fighting about 50 construction workers. We put up our ladder truck, where the engine had to spray him from the ground. They took a 2-inch or 1.75-inch line off, sprayed him from the ground, put most of the bucket off, sprayed it out. We put our ladder truck up. I'm like, hey man, we might as well just take a fire extinguisher up here because we're about to put this dude out a little bit more when we go up here to get him. Man, when we got up there, he had on a Carhartt, one of those jumpsuits. It was burned off of him. The only thing left was the legs. Yeah. His arms from the elbow down were 4th-degree burns, which is basically just black. He was up there. He was still alive. He was talking to us. We had to spray him off when we got up there. It was like November, December, sometime like that, with this, water can. He's like, stop spraying me, it's cold. I'm like, you're still on fire. We got to do this to get you out of here. So we had took a backboard up there with us. He had to help us because his belt got stuck. So we took his, he had a knife on him.
So we took it off of him. We cut his belt off. He had to help himself with his legs to slide onto the backboard. And as we were sliding him on the backboard, he was like, just kill me right now. And you could just see him where the electricity had went in and out one side. He was probably holding on to the rail. So that's what fried his arms. They wound up, I think he lasted 19 days. After that, it was around Christmas time. I remember that. And he had like 4 or 5 kids, I think. He was younger. He was like maybe in his mid 30s or early 30s. But the reason I remember that is just that. I remember me driving in the ambulance. I was driving it and I heard him in the back screaming and them trying to give him meds. And I could just, that smell all the way going. And when I got to the hospital, the assistant chief met me there to pick me up. And I'm like, this is not good.
No, it's not.
Come to find out, they tried to have us put up on charges, or basically doing what our job is to help people and rescue people. Now, if he had been dead, we probably wouldn't have, or wasn't
Went through the
screaming. Yeah, we wouldn't have did what we did. But at that point, you got to do what you got to do to help somebody. Yeah,
He needs to be viable.
yeah. There's no way we weren't gonna go up there and help them. The only good thing that came out of it, they gave us electricity training because I guess we got lucky. But it takes, I forgot what time limit it takes for that line to re-energize itself.
Would have killed one of y'all.
Yeah, we would have been in a whole lot of trouble. But I understood, them wanting us to be trained, but trying to put me on charges or put us on charges for that. But the thing about it, we wound up getting a Medal of Valor for it. So
say should have got accommodation.
yeah, we did. We wound up, well, it took 2 years, but we finally got a Medal of Valor. But, that's the one I always remember. But like I said, he wound up dying. But just him telling us to kill him, and it was almost, I think he knew something was going to happen. He wasn't probably going to make it. And like I said, he was actually helping us get him down. And what we did, putting him on our bucket and on our backboard was probably kind of dangerous, but the only way we could get him down because we were standing on the outside of the bucket hanging on, not inside of it. No one knows that until now. So, but that's the story I always remember. And I tell my cadets that all the time. Just one of those stories that I always remember.
Well, thank you for your service. We appreciate your bravery. No matter the outcome, we always think you made the right call. And this is a grown man's game. We're in danger. So, hey man, it's hold the blow up, barbecue building, make decision. So, all right, Mr. Moderator number 2, give us a good old fashioned fire story.
Just easy story from when we were talking about the new people and the new guys saying too much, doing too much. There was a crew. They were going on an assisted invalid. It was a bigger person. She just needed to get moved to her car. She couldn't move on her own. So send the companies out to go get them. We got the 5 people, send 5 people out. So they go up, pick up the lady, get her going. And the firemen see her, and the youngest guy on the company says, she said, "Oh, I can't get down on my own because my back is broken." And he says, as a joke, "All our backs gonna be broken when we get you down too." Everybody laughs. Lieutenant laughs, firefighters laughs, the person even laughs. Mayor's not laughing. Her daughter did not laugh. She did not think that was funny. She filed a formal complaint. They were investigated. The member who said it got suspended, and the officer got suspended. So when I was saying, and I was asking about new guys saying stuff, that is one of those times we used to tell a new guy, "Hey, shut up.
Yeah.
And don't say nothing." Like as soon as he said that, I would have just got into him right then and there. Because at a minimum, at least I could have saved the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
But he got it. And then that's just with that story. But this is not a story that I'm privy to. I don't even know what happened, but I have to talk about it because of the recency bias with what happened just now. We recently had a crew who worked in a predominantly Black neighborhood who decided to take down a sign.
Without national news.
Yes, that's national news. And I don't know, like I'm hearing the sign didn't say what they said it said. It said something different. I don't care if the sign said Hitler is king, do jumping jacks for him. If it's on somebody else's stuff and it's not on fire, and it's not hurting anyone, leave that where it's at.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter if you agree. It doesn't matter if you disagree. They could put up a picture of my mama and say she's a devil. I'm not going to get off their grid and take it off. It sounds really, really corny, sticks and stones. But at the end of the day, it's some words. And if you're letting some words, what someone puts up, affect you to do something like that, to take it down, that's just not smart.
No.
So that goes. So I talked about it from the young guy standpoint, saying something stupid, and now this is from the officer standpoint because somebody had to tell that reader.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's my quick story.
Everybody out there in podcast land, that reference to Hitler is only words and sentiments by Department 3C and Department 3C only. That has absolutely positively nothing to do with Oppenheimer.
It's extreme ownership.
We take any foreseeable circumstance.
We did all that.
If you like to boycott his particular podcast, feel free. I ain't got nothing to do with them shits.
Only a hater wants somebody else's podcast to be
Hey, second place is first place loser. Just a control freak wants everybody to not listen to somebody else. That's because you have anti-Semitic statements on your podcast, and not me. No, but on a serious note. Okay, I'm going to make this a long story short. Short story short. This particular story, Captain Thompson was there in a firefighter's capacity. We were in a 333 fire, which is a pretty big fire at the warehouse. And we were in a bucket. It's about November. It's snowing, knee-deep, shit outside. We got the call. You know when your stomach gives you that first bubble? That water cooler, I was like, I'll be fine. So we got in that bucket, and that bloop went to bloop bloop. And that bloop bloop went to rumble. And that rumble turned into sweating. I'm talking about profusely sweating. I'm in a bucket with Tyree Thompson, and he is like, "You got a boo boo?" Yes, I do. Man, every step down that ladder was a pain. And mind you, before this, my captain threw his back out, so he's laid up in a Chiefs rig on the tailgate like a dead body. So I'm coming down this ladder, and we are at a 4-alarm fire in my guts. I was like, man, this ain't gonna make it. Mind you, we're in the Industrial Parkway. There's no bathroom to be seen for miles. So, during the evolution, they breached a wall in the adjoining building, which was big enough to hold to get a person through. Cool. So I'm like, well, this is gonna have to work. So I go through the hole, and it's a machine shop. So it's consistent with all things a machine shop has. You know, tools and benches and workstations and so on and so forth. So, man, I am, crowning. Yes, it is showtime. So I roll over to a dude's workstation, and he had like one of those Home Depot buckets of like random parts and nuts and bolts. I'm sure he uses on a regular basis.
Not anymore.
No.
Not after this.
So I was like, hey, man, I need to be this dude. I gotta be this dude. And I filled that joint up like Maxwell House coffee to the very brim. I took off my t-shirt, took off my beater, gave myself a little scrubber dub. I packed that steamy feces right on top and slid it right back under his workstation. Then I'm sure that started a fist fight the next day. Yep. But I felt much better. But whoever that dude is, that warehouse, hey man, I'm sorry, player. I did that. You probably got fired if you stabbed someone with a shop shank, I'm sure, and I apologize. So, my bad, homie. But thanks, Tyree Thompson, for not making that any better.
No.
Yeah,
He wanted us to let the bucket down.
Yeah, he wanted me to put the bucket down. He's like,
nah,
You're gonna have to go this 100.
Then I gave it a little
straight
shake.
down. Man, it's awful. So, in closing, gentlemen, thank you very much, everybody in podcast land. Because this is very long, we're gonna break this into 2 separate episodes, part 1, part 2. You'll be able to see it on Department 3C, all of its platforms. I'll let him do a closing. And I'm gonna start off the closing. Catch them on all the platforms, Spotify, Anchor, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Open Hydrant 216. If you have any ideas for any future shows, hit us at the Open Hydrant 216@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody in podcast land. Thank you, all my guests. And I'm gonna have Severin Henderson close out the show. But from all the good folks at the Open Hydrant 216, I thank you and I'll see you next time.
Thank you very much from Department 3C. We're on Department 3C at all the major social media platforms. Also, this episode, unedited and raw, is on YouTube Live right now. So if you don't get a chance to check it out in the 2 episodes, you want to skip 1 or 2, just go check it out on YouTube. We appreciate you listening to us and want to thank our host for having us in his home. Next time, I can't wait to get you guys to the big city. This is so we can do this again in another setting and have fun, do the same thing. But like you said, hit us up, let us know how you guys are doing and what you would like to hear from us. With that being said, talk to you later. Bye. How long we do?
2 hours.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Damn.
But when you have a
Yeah, when you got everybody got to talk.
Yes.